Oh, this is like stop 1.5.
Step 2A. Nothing severe. But what is bad in terms of your inspecting your home prior to purchase? See, I'm always looking toward your purchase. It's very bad practice to put a sprinkler right behind your wall. I presume there's no weep holes here, but very often when they build retaining walls, there's a behind the wall drain, a lateral drain behind the wall. You can't see it. Usually that's the case if you don't see weep holes. But even so, you do not want sprinklers so close to structures. You don't want sprinklers close to your home. You don't want sprinklers close to the foundation. You don't want sprinklers on the side of the retaining wall, because this would soak and saturate the soil. I must presume there's a behind the wall lateral drain. And of course this is a sprinklers in front of the wall. That's not so good either. Keep your sprinklers away from structures. Keep your sprinklers away from structures, because you can have runaway sprinklers, as I said before. Let's go into this property. Something very interesting. When I did the report on this piece of property, I was very impressed by the fact that this is almost near a vertical cliff of basalt. You're looking end on at the lower part of a sill. This is a sill. A sill is a horizontal layer of rock, of melt that invades pre-existing sedimentary rocks. And so this is a sill. Now what can we say about a sill? Do you see any bedding planes? How can basalt have bedding planes? Basalt can't have bedding planes. So the fundamental conclusion, what does it mean? Basalt does not slide. Slide is impossible in the basalt sill because there are no bedding planes. No bedding planes, no slippage, no landslides. Now here in this page, labeled 48A, is a plot. You all have your itineraries here, so this is the page you should be looking at. And our location is exactly at this point. This is our location precisely, right here. This is our location.
Is there a number?
About right here. Where did you go? You're on a tennis court. And this is a location. And here's the home. There's the home right there. There's the home. Now what are all these points? Because prior to constructing a home, it is necessary to do compaction studies. You must have the soil compacted to 10% of maximum density, which is a detail, I don't know if you know that, but you have to compact the soil in order to make a structure on it, put a structure on it. And the building official will require that we have an organization that is an engineering firm that will be drilling and compacting the soil in order to make sure that it is to specifications where you have compacted the soil to the correct density, a high density. Then you can build on it. So this is a tract map. You ought to be acquainted with what's called a tract, T-R-A-C-T, a tract map. You want to look at the tract map before you buy a home. This is the tract map. It's available, it's on file in all city halls. And so the tract map is shown here, and it'll show you the exact, right to the gnat's eyebrow, the exact measurements of your property, which you want to know because you might want to build a guest house on it or something. So the compaction reports are satisfactory. and they built the home, and they built the tennis court. Now, when I did the study, I want to make sure you have one word in your notes concerning basalt. I told you basalt does not slide, but it can ravel. R-A-V-E-L. It can ravel. Basalt ravels. This cliff is raveling. R-A-V-E-L. The pieces can fall off. Pieces can fall off. There's no sliding. There's no bedding planes in basalt. But it can ravel because portions of it can fall off. And now you're going to tell me what will cause a cliff of the sill. This is a sill of basalt. What will cause the sill to ravel?
Rain.
Rain is one. Yeah, did you say rain?
Yeah, I did.
Who said rain?
There.
Hey, you come up here, the head of the class. Rain is one way you can have the cliff ravel, pieces falling off. What's another way?
Earthquake.
Huh? Earthquakes is another. Very good, yeah. You guys are thinking. What's another way? And you can see evidence of that here. There's two other ways. One is
Heavy
fractures, joints. A joint is a fracture. And if you have lots of joints, and I see lots of fractures, lots of really good fractures, you can see them beautifully shown here. These are fractures or joints which will cause the slope to ravel. What's another way? And the other way will be seen
Heavy object?
Shortly at another stop. Root pressure. Root pressure. Because you have a plant growing in there and the roots will expand and will force chunks of the cliff face to ravel by root pressure. Now, I was aware of all these things, and when I wrote the report, I specified a safety corridor. I specified a safety corridor at the base of the cliff because if you're there during a heavy rain, which we have had today, it would be likely to ravel more with a heavy rain or earthquake or root pressure and stuff like that. So I have a safety corridor on that side of the tennis court. It's a suggested. You can't be dogmatic about this. It's a suggested safety corridor to keep the children away from the base of the cliff during an earthquake. I don't think they'd be standing there anyway. But
well,
this is a safety corridor. Now, what I also did the report on the property on the other side of the fence. And you have to look at every square inch of the property. And right up here, at that point, off the property, but right at the border, I found that it's written down a leaking pipe, of a leaking irrigation pipe. Now, you already said that water is not too healthy for the raveling story, so this leaking pipe was not contributing to the integrity of the property that I did the other report on. So what do? Well, it's a matter of tact. You see, you don't go and shake your fist in the homeowner's face and say you got a leaking pipe, and you can't force him to correct the leaking pipe. It's called tact. Show him that there is a leaking pipe and that it is not doing any good to your property beneath him, and so you have to try to do this in a friendly way. Yeah, you can have lawsuits, but I think you could correct this, and he did. He did correct this by virtue of this homeowner talking to this gentleman and saying the pipe is causing this cliff to ravel, and he didn't know what ravel meant, but he now explained it because I wrote it up in my report. So this is the story here. Now, what I want to do is to take a look at the material, and so be aware. I'm going to be doing some looking at a sample. So let me go over and see what we